Galloway's support through sight loss. Galloway's Get Active presents Sheraz Chohan from Lancashire Lions.
Okay, everyone. So with me today, or with us all today, in the Talking Together Get Active, we've got Sheraz from Lancashire Lions. Hello, Sheraz.
Hello, James.
And Sheraz is going to talk to us about visually impaired cricket and baseball, and maybe a little bit about his trip to Italy with the baseball. So first off, Sheraz, thanks for joining us. I know you're busy and you've got a lot of things going on. So if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, Sheraz, and a bit about how you started off with Lancashire Lions and the cricket and things like that.
No problem. Okay. Well, firstly, I'll introduce myself to you, give my full name. My name is Sheraz Chohan. And obviously, as James, you just stated, I'm here, I'm representing the Lancashire Lions today, Visually Impaired Sports Club. And most recently, UK Blind Baseball Association, which we've launched in 2019. And how my blind sports journey actually started off, funnily enough, believe it or not. My journey actually started through Galloway's in 2009 and 2010, where I come into sports quite a bit late compared to some others that I'm working with at this present time moment with the Lancashire Lions. I started off in my early 30s, and Galloway's was the only blind cricket team that was really functioning up in North at that time. And I did a bit of research and I networked and had a few conversations with people, and I managed to actually make contact with Galloway's. And cricket is a passion that I've had since a child, and the background and, the Asian origin coming from my parents and everything as well. It was the first sport in Pakistan. And obviously for me, it was something I wanted to get involved in within sports. I used to play sports when I was younger in school, and then I just kind of got missed through the system. And I made contact, and I actually started my journey through Galloway's Galloway's blind cricket team, Northern Galloway's it was called at the time. And obviously I've got a sight condition called RP, retinitis pigmentosa, which is mainly night blindness and low vision in the day as well, and it deteriorates to total blindness at some stage. More people from an Asian background, quite a few people have got it, and other backgrounds as well, but it generally progresses to total blindness. For me, obviously, starting off late and getting involved in sports, I mean, Galloway's was a vehicle for me to actually get on the platform of actually performing and participating in sports. So at the time, there was a gentleman that was running it called Gary. I got in touch with him. They invited me down in 2009. They was playing a few friendlies, and I got involved in 2010. I mean, I really enjoyed it, the format, the way it was adapted in 2010. I had the pleasure of captaining Northern Galloway's, and we played quite a few fixtures. And unfortunately, it was towards the end of the journey of Northern Galloway's cricket team and the starting of my journey. So for me, the answer to your question is, James, there was no other opportunity, and I got my foot in the door, and I wasn't going to stop. I wanted to play the sport. I fell back in love with the sport, and it was adapted to my needs and every other VI that can play, because it's got the categories of B1, B2, B3, and more recently now B4, which has got, obviously, as you can imagine, B1 is total blind, B2 is a bit more vision, B3 than B4 is decent vision. You can only have a couple in your team that are B4 sighted, and it's adapted. As you know, we've had a go with you. We've helped with Galloway's, and playing some games. We played a friendly to develop things up in Preston, as you know yourself, and we've had many conversations. So you'd know about the game. So for me, it was Galloway's is coming towards the end of their journey, and for me, I didn't want my journey to basically end. So I wasn't going to let go. So I started networking, contacting people. I did a level 1 coaching course at that time. Also started contacting the cricket boards, and I was told I need qualifications, I need safeguarding, I need DBS, And obviously that inspired me even more and motivated me even more to compile all this formality, because I knocked on a lot of doors and I made a lot of contacts, but whatever I was speaking, it learned me a lot of positive things, how to have structure and organizing things. And with carrying Galloways for the last year before they're finishing captaining them, I learned quite a bit more about the game. And, I was not involved in the VI community for many years. I mean, I knew a few VI people, but I've lived my life with a circle of people. I've mainly been sighted and friends, family, and, being sociable with people like that. So it come to the stage for me was where I wanted to play a sport which was suited to my needs and where it'd be a level playing field. So I kept on pushing. And, fortunately, I contacted schools, contacted blind colleges. I didn't give up, James. And that was the thing for me. Obviously, I was motivated and I wanted to play. I had a taste of the actual sport, so I wasn't going to give up. And fortunately for me, I networked. I got a few coaches involved. I got myself qualified, and it actually helped me to go into education again as well at the same time. It was like a new lease of life. And so I went and I did a fitness instructing qualification, which I thought would fit in with my cricket. So I did that. Then I moved on to a level 3 youth work, and then a cricket 2 level badge at the same time. So I had all the weapons, all the tools I needed to progress and drive forward. When I go and see people again and speak to the cricket board, speak to organisations, then I got involved with Lancashire Cricket Board. There was no team functioning in Lancashire. And, my ethos was, to help people and get them out of isolation and, get them involved in playing cricket, firstly. And that happened. I was fortunate enough. All my hard work, my drive paid off. And, we got quite a few people involved. We started forming a group, and from forming a group we formed a team. From forming a team we entered the development league, and we never looked back, to be honest with you, after that. As we stepped up in our second year of playing cricket to the national league, top flight cricket. And at that time we started working, going to colleges, talking to people, bringing them out of isolation, catching people in schools. We was fortunate, very fortunate, to have a blend of youth involved as well. I think that's a massive factor in any sort of sports club going forward. As I'm in my 40s now, as you can imagine, like I said before, I started off in 30s. So, I'm still involved now. I'm 43. It's been enough 10 years. But, it's good to have them young legs out there with me as well. And, it only started off of we're going to start in the development league. And, if we get any youngsters, it's fine. If not, us guys can plod along and enjoy what we're doing. And there's more to sports. Sports is a vehicle. It's a vehicle for actually building people's self-esteem and confidence. And for our guys, just give them a social aspect of, meeting the guys. And it moved on so much from, sitting down, having cricket teas, having a natter, having a laugh, moving on to, top flight cricket, traveling up and down the country to parts of the country where people would never have traveled, never probably got this opportunity. I mean, we've been fortunate to travel many times to Somerset, to Brighton, to places like that. And we've been really fortunate because we've had, on board our committee member, Ben Tanner, and, we built a relationship with Our Ladies High School. And from then it just strengthened everything. And, we went from strength to strength, and we actually, had transport, which not many organisations had at that time as well. And, as and when we need it, we'd say to Ben, can we use the minibus? He'd volunteer his services, drive us up and down the country. And, for us, everything fit like a jigsaw. And if that wasn't enough, he was a sports centre manager, and the community manager as well. So we had a good run of the facilities as well when they was free. So it always helped. And, having guys on board, I mean, we've got male and female involved in all sports. We're big on that, to encourage anybody to get involved with a visual impairment, whether it's dual disability as well. And, for us, it was, we've got a venue, we've got transport, we've got guys that are pushing. Let's push all the way and let's see how far we can take it. Let's just follow the dream, as they say, and see how far we can go. And along that time, we've all inspired each other because some people have gone into education, further education. Some people have gone into qualifications, like I did a level 2 fitness instructor. Some people have gone further and done a level 3. So it's really humbling to know that, you know, this vehicle has actually helped people to enhance other things and, you know, make them progress in life generally, with alongside sports, and have that social aspect and have the element. The beauty of it is, with us, we've got the first team. And we've got the second team for people that want to come in and just want to travel locally to Yorkshire, Durham, Wavertree now to play cricket and, you know, have social aspect, have, you know, it's just fun and games for them, and, you know, enjoy being together and, you know, with people with similar, you know, conditions. And, you know, it's just, for us, there's a lot of aspects to the club. Sports is first and foremost, as we started off, but, you know, we've been creative and we've adapted to other things as well alongside. I mean, as an example, from cricket we moved on to goalball in 2015. As I mentioned before, we've got quite a few athletes in the club, so we thought we'll try to get involved in goalball, and we got more membership, people coming through, because not everybody wants to play cricket, and not everybody, you know, respectfully wants to play, you know, goalball. So we thought we'll open the membership and give people an option. And to be honest with you, our first year that we played in the goalball season, we were 2015 and 16 champions in the first year. So that was a massive achievement, another landmark for the club. And then obviously we had 3 platforms of novice, intermediate, elite. And we've had the privilege of having pathways of some members of our members actually reaching the Great Britain platform and representing Great Britain with goalball. But cricket has been our first sport. Obviously, as we branched out to multi-sports, we've started doing other things as well. I hope that's quite a bit of information on that. I can add
it is, yeah. It just goes to show as well that if you have got the passion and the enthusiasm, then there's not a lot that can stop you, really, regardless what your sight level is. And you've kind of opened my eyes a bit there, Sheraz, because I've been involved with Galloway since 2003, and I never knew that we had a cricket team up until previously, when we started doing it again, sort of in the last 5 years or so. So I never realised we had the Northern Galloway's team. So that was an eye opener to me. I thought it was like Lancashire Lions had always been up there first. And
it was, like I said, I represented the Galloways before I started off the Lions, and, you know, it was a platform for me, Galloways, and I'd never forget that. That's where like they say, you never forget where your journey starts off from. No. When you start Galloways, and which, you know, I'm privileged, James, to be on board and help out. As you know, we've come down plenty of times as well, to Preston in the past over the years. I mean, we've come down for the cricket, we've come down to introducing baseball to yourselves as well. But it's something that is, for us, our ethos is, our ultimate goal is to showpiece blind sports and promote them, whether it increases our membership or it increases participation in the sport. And that's most definitely our ethos, is to build on that. And we're one community. I've always believed in that. I'm a strong believer in that, you know, we're a blind community. All the people that come on board and, you know, volunteer, the sighted, the actual blind, visually impaired volunteers, the participants, we're all one family. We all make it work. So we're a community, and we've got to, you know, work together and push and drive. And, you know, our aims and objectives should be to push on and give everybody an opportunity. As an example, with our club now, it's been challenging since the lockdowns, you know, come on, really, and from March onwards. But like I said before, we've been a bit creative and adapted to individuals' needs, because we have to prioritise the well-being of some of our members, because they've got some multiple, dual disabilities. Some of them have, some of them haven't. But as you know, it can affect anybody. Taking, you know, your freedom away from you, you know, from having normality to this new normality as such. So we've adapted, and we've give our members an opportunity, to the best of our abilities, to make suggestions, to be, you know, to empower them, to give them the drive. And if you've got any ideas, we'll do our utmost to support it. to keep you guys engaged, and it's worked a treat. It's worked really well in the sense of we've done so many different activities since we've been down in lockdown. I mean, a lot of us started walking, which we've never really done before, to be honest with you. So it just shows there's a different pathway of, because summertime is our season, is peak for us, where we're engaged and we're traveling up and down the country. So we were affected in that sense. So it was good for us to think about. And
I talked to Rashid a few weeks ago, and he came on one of the walks that we're doing that we were able to start off before we went into lockdown again. So
I believe so.
He was saying there's a lot of you guys from the Lions were wanting to get involved in that. So hopefully, when lockdown's lifted, we can do it again. We can get going on things like that. Definitely. But it just shows as well, Sheraz, that with the blind sport, or let's just call it sport anyway, forget about the blindness side of it. It's sport, and it's good for everyone. So you can be as competitive as you want in it, or you can just go along, take part, and just do it for a bit of fun, bit of exercise, and meet new people. It's good for like physical health, mental health, and basically
there's so many benefits.
Everything. Yeah.
There's so many benefits. So you just mentioned Rashid. I mean, he's been an active member. He was part of driving this charity that we walk that we did. We did a fundraiser during obviously July onwards for the
million step challenge, was it?
It was a million step diabetes challenge. We raised some money, but all our members were very active because it was close to some of our hearts as well, with having conditions, people that we know, people that have, our nearest and dearest that have passed away, that have had him, my parents have had him. So we all jumped on board. I mean, this is what you need, somebody, to have the initiative, then drive and, support them and bring them through. And, obviously, for us, it was something new, but it really worked. And he was part of the driving force behind that. And the committee obviously is strategically places everything and, pushes on and makes sure we can do. But we're a voluntary run organisation. So for us, we take on suggestions on board, but there's a certain amount you can do, as you know, if there's not funding pots. But we do our utmost to make sure we can try to fulfill any, requirements, any needs for our members, and anything that encourages mental well-being, fitness, and gives somebody an opportunity. I mean, we always encourage that. I think, you've got to give people a voice, and we're big on that. And obviously with my youth working background as well, it really does help. And just another aspect of the cricket, I'll just tell you, James, for us as well, obviously traveling. Some people never traveled on a tram, like I said before, or a train. They built their confidence. But we started doing, when we first started the cricket, we started doing residentials, going to the Leicester weekend, the Blind Cricket Festival. This is what really made everybody close, and they bonded, and it was overnight. For us, we learned at the same time as a committee as we went along, and how it works with people. I mean, how their self-esteem, how their confidence could be boosted, how we can work with that individual, how we can work with this group. I mean, after that, we've started taking really young groups on board, and for the Leicester weekend, where parents are more than happy. There's a criteria that's got to be met basically as well, consent forms and everything. And we've took the last time we went in 2018, we took 8 or 9 under 16-year-olds, and I think there's one over 16, and there's a few of us that as mentors that went along, and they played for 2 days of cricket. But the cricket was, like I said before, the main part we was there for, the actual reason we was there for. But there's more elements to it. The other elements was for these children to get used to staying overnight, obviously, and having a residential and getting used to socializing, because they don't get many opportunities. And within that group, you find leaders. We found so many young leaders that have excelled and that are going to take on the role of people like myself in the future. And you'd hope for that. It would be the future of the club, to keep the legacy kind of going. And
we've found that with a lot of the activities we do, the activities there as a common theme for everybody.
Yeah.
But when we've had like residentials as well, it's like we've gone there to do all the outdoor activities and things.
Life skills.
But at the end of the day, the activities take a back seat to everything else that goes on. All the confidence building, the independence, the meeting new people and that side of it is more important than what the actual activity that was there that brought everybody together in the first place. So
indeed, it's ticking all the boxes, and there's so many different elements to it of where people can grow, not just in sports, not just on the field, on the green, as a person. And we're very big on that. Our ethos is opportunity and empower. That's our goals, and to our utmost, like I said earlier, to make sure we can help somebody and make them, improve their day-to-day life. And I can gladly say, that I think we've met them goals as a sports club. So it ticks all the boxes for us, and it gives them some confidence, our members and others as well. And it's just not our members as well; it's reaching out to other communities basically as well. We're a pioneer club, so we learn other things as well. I know it's not just us as other clubs as well. We learn other things about other faiths, other backgrounds. As being a pioneer club, I mean, is that we've got different backgrounds. We've got the Muslim background, we've got the Christian background, and it's one family. We're one family all together, and going on that pitch together. And there's so much that you can learn of each other, how people live day to day, and you'd probably never get that opportunity just in general life, with not meeting people like this, or not actually socializing, or having that kind of time to actually know about somebody, or know them, or get to know them.
Yes, it's like everybody's classed as an individual. It doesn't matter what the disability, the race, religion, age, gender, whatever. Everybody's treated equally, and it's something. The cricket and the baseball is something that anybody can do.
Indeed, it's understanding each other after that as well, and building that bond and relationship. I think we've done that as well. I think we can really say that we've achieved quite a few goals that we set out to do. And to be honest with you, James, we've had a lot of landmarks as the club, personal goals for individuals, club achievements, awards, and seeing some of the young players going through the platforms through the club, and having pathways to go out and represent Great Britain. I mean, there's no better feeling than that for myself and for our committee members as well. And our workforce obviously is voluntary, but we have different roles. Obviously, as you know, I'm the voice kind of, and networking and meeting and secretarial, and wear a few hats. Then there's Ben, like I said, with the sports centre, the vehicle, the active part of the emails correspondence. Then there's a think tank, our chairman Amjad. Then we've got Nathan. So it's a good combination. It's a formula that works. We all delegate each of the roles, and we push on. We all work together, and it's worked, and hence why we have reached out to other sports like blind baseball, UK blind baseball, that we've launched. So there's so much positives you can take out of one thing. And at a time like this, difficult time like this, I'm happy to mention that there's so many positive things, because there's a lot of negatives going around and at this present time with lockdown and the past few months and things. So it's always good to share good stories, if you know what I mean, James.
Definitely. Yeah. So moving on there, you just touched on the baseball, and I think all the guys here are dying to know how does someone who's got sight loss manage to play baseball? I know I did when you first mentioned it to me. So if you want to explain to these guys how you play baseball.
Yeah, I think you'd agree with me, James. I think you would agree with me. At first, you probably thought baseball, how it's going to work, like you said. But when the shades come on, you must have been apprehensive, in the sense of how am I going to do this under shades? Because that's the big factor in this sport. But there's so much.
I think the big thing for me, some of the guys that came before, was you mentioned baseball, and we just got visions of this little white ball coming hurtling towards you like 100 mile an hour or something. And it's not like that at all, is it? So
it's not at all. I mean, people start thinking like myself, somebody's going to pitch it at me. How fast are they going to pitch it? Am I going to be able to see it? For me, there's a lot of positives for blind baseball, and I never heard of it up until 2018. And funnily enough, I was at a cricket training session, and this is a bit ironic, this story. I was at a cricket training session. I got a phone call from a gentleman, And he goes, "Are you Sheraz?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, what can I do for you?" He goes, Do you run blind sports?" I go, "Yeah, I'm part of Lancashire Lions. Yeah, I'm a part of the committee. What can I do for you?" So he goes, "I wanted to introduce blind baseball to you." So first I thought, right, okay, never heard of that. What's blind baseball about? I don't even like baseball. Do you know, I don't even watch it on telly. I've never even paid it interest. He goes, "I'm over here from Italy, and I just wanted to discuss blind sports." So for me, me being me and being passionate about blind sports, so I go, "Okay, you come over from Italy. You're visiting family. Where, whereabouts are you?" Funnily enough, he said, "In the same area I live in." Then I go, "Whereabouts in that area?" Even closer. This is getting more ironic. He goes, he mentioned the street, and that's the same street that I live on. Then I thought, right, okay, whereabouts in that street? He goes, "There." And I go, right, okay, that's a stone throw away. And I thought, right, okay, this would be very ignorant and very awfully rude of me if I don't go and visit him. So I said, "I'm going to finish the session and I'll get dropped off outside yours." So I met him, I got dropped off, and funnily enough, I met him, and he started talking about baseball. So we had a couple of soft drinks. It was a nice hot summer's day, and he started talking about. I go, "Look, I can't promise you anything. I cannot promise you anything, but I will definitely mention it to our guys. We're anything for sports. If we've got a few that like it, we'll have a go. But our programs, we're quite busy with the programs that we're running at the moment, and no promises." So I said, "Send me some links," and it's nice. It's been really nice meeting you, and I'll try my best to keep in touch with you. So he took me with WhatsApp details and everything as well. And then he started contacting me. I was busy with the cricket season. As I'm sure you can appreciate, summer is our time, is our peak time where we're playing up and down the country. We're running 2 teams. So eventually started sending me more videos, more messages. So I put it out to our guys and we started looking into it. So when I had time, I mentioned to a few, if you go, "Okay, we can give this a look at some point." And it happened to be we strengthened our relationship. And this is sports again. It took me all the way to Italy, 2018 in Italy, 2019, 18 in Italy. October, they had a tournament and he invited me down. He's seen all the work that we're doing here for the Lions and he followed us on social media. He invited me down. It took me, it took me a bit of time to think about it. Then I went over, I got on the plane. They received me on that end. They're very hospitable. They treated me royally. And from then, this gentleman was called Ghulam Sawa. He's from the same background, same kind of area as my parents in Pakistan and his parents. So the relationship we're built on the relationship. And looked at the sport and I went there and I go, "Is this really for me?" Then after that, I started meeting so many delegates there and I saw the social aspect. I go, "This is a bit like us, how we do at cricket." They have a cricket tea and they're all so passionate. I mean, what's the fuss about this sport? I mean, wearing shades first and foremost, then running under shades. How would they do it? This is something I've never tried. I've played goal ball under shades. Is this really for me? I know I've come over here to have a look and see how I can push it. I sat down with a lot of them. They told me, a lot of positive feedback of what it's about. I come back. I thought about it. Carried on with my normal day-to-day stuff. After a few months, more contact, relationship built, from strength to strength. And I mentioned to the guys, and he goes, "Come again in March." So I mentioned to a few of our guys. They go, "We can possibly give it a look." So I started doing quite a bit of research. So we went over again in 2019 March with 3-4 of our players that showed some interest because we had a couple of hits and we tested it out. And then we got involved and we saw a couple of games. We analysed video. We got some videos. We brought it back to our guys, and they was really, really hospitable again. And as you know, Italy's an attraction for most with the pizzas and the gelatos, the desserts and everything as well. So it become a bit of a attraction as well at the same time, I'd say. But more than anything, my goal was to go there. If I'm going to go there, I'm going to make sure I promote and see if I can progress this sport. We come back. The feedback was good to the guys that come. Ben went with us from the committee. Come back and we said, right, we can possibly give this a push. And we mentioned a few more guys of our club, and it just started to snowball. And it snowballed in the sense of in our club of let's push it on, let's have more sessions. We got invite in 2019. Again, this was our second round in 2019. Previously, I went in 2018 to observe the game. they had a world classic in Rome this time, which we kind of committed to because we had the numbers, but we had to do a training camp. We did a 6-week training camp, and we went over to Rome in October, and there was a few teams there. There was Cuba, a very good team. Italy, a very good team that have been playing for 25 years. Let's not forget that. France, Germany, and not forgetting USA. So yeah, we did a couple of training camps there as well, and with our sports crossing over from cricket to goalball, it's a bit of a transfer in the sense of, the fundamentals will transfer. So we played Germany our first game and we drew. It was a 0-0, which everybody thought we were going to lose that. And we grew in confidence. Then we played Cuba. It's a very, very strong, very important side there was.
Yeah, it's Cuba's national game, isn't it, baseball?
It's their national game, definitely, yeah. And we give them a few scares at the start and everything as well. And, the way we started off, they beat us. I'd say comfortably they beat us. But for us, it was a learning curve for whichever sport we played, whether it was cricket, goalball, the first game we ever played, we lost that badly. But then we come back, we won the whole season. With cricket, the first game we ever played in the National League, we lost that. So it didn't bother us. We went with the mindset of it's the learning curve, and collectively we're going to learn together and bring it back to the UK and see where we can take this sport, as it's got a lot of fundamentals, a lot of positivity about it. So second game, obviously Cuba, we lost to them. The second day we played, believe it or not, USA, and that was our last game. We managed to watch a few games, pick up a bit of rules and everything as well. And we beat USA in our last game. So as you can imagine, beating USA baseball, another positive moment for us. And after that, we was just like, okay, this is really good. We can play. It's a challenge. It's something that we have to adapt to more, but we can do this. So we actually come back after beating USA. We've got a lot of good applaudits there. You guys are really good. You did really well. We just told them one thing: we're there to learn. At the same time, we had a 13-year-old young lady there, and she actually won the young player of the tournament. So as you can imagine, for us, it's not just about the club. It's not just about the individual. It's about young players as well, and female players as well, for them to, get the credit and, get merit and, achieve at the same time as well. So we come back, we pushed on. And from there, we've networked with yourselves, as you know, and, I think it was received well from yourselves. We've networked and delivered to Wavertree in Liverpool, received very well from them. They booked in sessions with us already. Obviously, the pandemic it stopped a lot of things, a lot of organisations functioning as they should do, but that's just not us. It's the whole world, our entire world, that's in this situation at the moment. So we've been doing a lot of demo videos, as you probably know, James and Natalie. I know I've sent her some material as well, whilst lockdown, and keeping ourselves active and promoting this sport. This sport gives you total freedom. There's not many sports that I can think of. Obviously, it's under shades. I appreciate that. And that was a challenge for us to overcome as well, running under shades in designated areas. But it gives you that freedom to run to base. And no matter how fit you are, it gives you opportunity, because it's about participating. We're strong believers in, we'd help anybody in our club to be the best they can. And if they can be the best there is, then that's great. But if they can be the best they can, that's our goal, just to help them and, develop them to the best they can. So some people will run faster than others. They'll have different goals, but running with shades, running with freedom, like a totally blind person running, there's not many sports like that. And there's not an age bracket on it. Also, another beauty of it is you've got your sighted players that are on your team, second base coach, third base coach, that are sighted, that clap to you. So audibility is a big part of this game, communication. And when you're fielding, you've got your second base coach that's sighted for when you stop the ball. Your second base coach, he or she will shout too. So you're following that sound, as James, you've experienced, and Natalie's witnessed as well. Yeah, and Natalie's witnessed as well. The sensation, the feeling of stopping the ball and throwing it into the gloves with no sight or with shades on is a total different, feeling in itself from any other sport I've played. And let's be honest, all the other sports are great sports as well. They've got their own element to it of positivity and, what people can, achieve in them, just like this blind baseball sport has. But for me, running, working with sighted coaches, having sighted people in your team, and the sighted people, the personnel that are in your team, that are part of your team. You don't get that in many sports, blind sports, basically. So it's inclusive. There's so many factors that you could say is very positive about this. I mean, first, when we've coached or when we've done it ourselves as well, hitting the ball from the hand with shades on, how would I hit it? How would it happen? Oh, people ask, is it going to be pitched at me? No, because there's a different format called beat baseball, I think it is in America. This is a totally different game. This is
beat ball, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Italian version, run by AIBXC, Association Italian Baseball, and C stands for checker, stands for blind in Italian. So I learned that when I went over there as well. Apart from trying a lot of other dishes there, like the different kinds of pizzas and desserts, and as you know, there's that aspect of it there as well of experiencing a different culture whilst we was out there. And playing as well. And like I said, this has been a pathway through the Lions as an example to becoming a governing or a controlling body of a sport run by mainly blind personnel alongside sighted committee members. So it just goes to show, removing barriers, if you want to remove them, make your disadvantage. I'm a strong believer in that, making your disadvantage into your advantage, working on your advantages to actually, overcome your disadvantage. Like you said earlier, James, you may have sight problems, but that doesn't mean you can't, enhance your capabilities in other fields in life. I mean, speaking to Andy there earlier as well, I was quite impressed with him with the tech stuff and everything as well. Everybody has their own kind of tool or, area of expertise, as they say. So, I think, with life, I think having pathways, with sports, having pathways, it can really improve your life and give you opportunity to actually excel in different fields as well.
Definitely. Shall we open it up to questions? See if people have got any questions for you.
Yeah, please do. I hope, guys, I've been transparent enough. If there is any questions, please don't feel shy.
Okay, so you can all unmute yourselves now. Nobody got a question?
No question is a silly question.
Can I say a question?
Is that Brian?
Brian?
Yeah, it's Brian, yeah.
Please fire away, Brian.
When you're playing cricket, do you play with a corgi?
No,
a hard ball?
A good question. No, we play with an adapted ball, which is a size 3 football, Brian, with lead shots and ball bearings in. As I kind of mentioned before, for different sight classifications, there's different adaptations. I mean, if you have got minimum sight or no sight, you'd face 2 bounces, so you go off audibility, or unless if you can see it, if it comes in front of you, in front of your toes. For blind players that be around the bat, they are important, if not more important than your partially sighted players, because they have to play certain roles in the team, important roles. So they're not brushed to the side, if you know what I mean. They give the part to the team, they give the workload. And they can catch the ball of 1 bounce, the blind personnel.
And is the ball the same with baseball? Same size?
The baseball ball is, Brian, is smaller. It can fit in your hand. It can fit in your hand. Now, I had one here somewhere, but my cats have been a bit naughty, and I think they've I think they've chewed.
Best way to describe it is like a big cat ball, isn't it?
It is
with the holes and the
indeed.
bell in the middle.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, a cat ball, because my cats have seemed to help themselves to the balls recently. I did have it out here, but I've been trying to hunt them down. I'm just going to go into my gym and see if I can find them here somewhere. But if not, please do fire away. If there's any other questions, guys.
Like size of a grapefruit.
Pardon?
Is it like the size of a grapefruit?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's the size. It's the size of a tennis ball, I'd say.
Oh yeah. All right.
Small, isn't it?
Yeah.
That size of a tennis ball.
Yeah, but who's that?
You know,
Sorry,
for visually impaired people to see.
The game's
Unless it's
played.
a bright colour.
No,
That's
the
David
game's
just
played
talking.
under shades. So the game is played under shades, so you won't see it. You'd hear it. That's the the beauty of the game. I mean, I've got. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, that's David. That one.
That was David. Sorry, yeah, that was David. Why?
David, I've got. Have you got insight, David?
I'm partially sighted. I'm not so much a ball person. All right, I've done curling and I've done temping bowling.
Yeah.
And I enjoy my swimming and I do walking. But the question I was going to ask you, which you say you don't have problems getting transport for the children to come and play sports. I'm sure you must be having some, because I heard something similar on BBC Radio 4's In Touch regarding another form of blind football team. And how it can be difficult to get children to come and play these games out of school.
Great question. If I can break that down to you in two parts.
Right.
The first part would be, I did say we've been fortunate to have transport This is
what amazed me.
Yeah. I mean, this is where the club, where I said to you earlier, the jigsaw is having somebody on board, having a facility on board, like Our Ladies at the time, and having the sports centre manager, Ben Tanner, with the facilities and obviously the vehicle. It's been a real bonus for us. It's been something that's unheard of, and people ask that question. I think a big factor of all this is parental support, what I've experienced, because sometimes parents at work, parents have got issues themselves. We've been fortunate to have, I mean, myself, David, I've gone and met children, I've spoke to parents, and I built the trust, obviously, with me being a youth worker and safeguarded. And I've gone out of my way, and I've really pestered the parents. I said, I want this kid to be involved. The kid wants to be involved. The kid's got an opportunity, he or she, and would really.
They might not get ever again.
Yeah, indeed. And that pathway, we need that opportunity for them, because otherwise they would be in isolation. When and when we started off the Lions, like I said, our main aims and objectives is to make sure that we bring people out of isolation, and mental well-being, promoting the health at the same time. If you're healthy and fit, you've got a fit body, you've got a fit mind. I'm a strong believer in that, and it all helps. We've been fortunate to have some good parents on board. We've been fortunate to have a driving force, team force, as workforce, as they say, is to go out of our way and really work with parents, even work with some people that are not kids, that are struggling, to get them out of isolation, meet them. And this is not just myself, it's our committee members, and not just the committee members, our members have gone. It's been like a cycle. You pass the responsibility, build their self-esteem and confidence, and pass the role on it, and empower somebody else. Could you meet somebody at this train station? So it's just not kids getting there, it's other people. Or could you meet somebody at this tram station? And slowly, delegating roles and spreading the workload.
So that it's not falling on one person then, is it?
It's not falling on one person.
Quite common happens with clubs, any form of club or society, sports or not,
Indeed.
Too much falls on one
Indeed.
person.
I hope my answer was to your spec there, David. I hope it answered it.
It's just curious. It just made me ask that when I heard something quite negative on In Touch relating to children being involved in sports. There again, there must be those parents, like you said, won't let go of their child.
Yeah, for
To
whatever
use a
reason.
figure of speech, you know,
Yeah,
to
for
be next
whatever
to
reason.
a long way from home, and
Yeah.
a long way from home in a sports training camp.
We've built
So
the
to
trust,
speak.
David. You see, we've built that trust with the parents. We've been going for 10 years near enough now. We're having our 10th anniversary
Yeah.
next year. And there's been nothing but really good feedback and positive
Good.
feedback because we're a family. We're a family,
Yeah.
you see. So we
Yeah.
make sure, you know, we always say, you know, we're a family and we're there for each other. Whatever we can do to help you, we'll do. Yeah. Anybody else?
Great.
Anybody
Anyone
got
else questions for Sheraz?
Shiraz, it's
Yeah.
John here. What's your
Hi.
next tournament, and have you won any trophies?
Sorry, what's our next tournament, did you say?
What's your next tournament that you'll probably be going on? Where will your next tournament be, and have you won any trophies?
Right, John, great question. Okay. Our next tournament, we'd like to think, would be in April, our season, the cricket season, that's going to start off with the first team and the second team, giving we get back to some sort of normality. And then we can possibly be delivering baseball up and down the country. We're working with Ireland, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland at the moment. We've got we're very much infancy with them, Scotland and Wales, and other parts of Europe. And I'm doing some work in Asia with blind baseball. I'm acting on behalf of the governing body now, AIBXC. I didn't tell you that part before. I'm a delegate on their role of promoting the game, which organises a few other countries. In terms of have we won any trophies, our second team, we're going for 8-9 years, and I think we've won 8 seasons out of 9. We've lost. It's our second team. That the record is we must have only lost, unfortunately, 4 or 5 games in 8-9 years. Second team. Our first team is we've made it to BBS Cup finals. We've made 2020 Cup finals. We've played in finals. We've finished second in the National League, but we've got no players that play for England. But we've beat England sides that have got a lot of England players, if that says something. So for me personally, that's a trophy in itself. We've got so many individuals that have received awards over the years. I think we won Sports Club of the Year. I'm going to get my trumpet out, guys. If you're ready, I'm going to blow it. Yeah. So
can I just say, Sheraz, I've got to make a move, but it's been great listening to you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get you on the tech talk at some time on one Tuesday. You can come and talk about the portal. I'll get James to send me your details.
Not a problem whatsoever. It's been a pleasure, Andy, and I'm sure this will be recorded. So if you want to pick up any more of the conversation later, then
I will do. Cheers,
well,
mate. See you soon, everybody.
Been a pleasure.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. John.
Yeah.
It was John, wasn't it, that asked the question?
It was.
Yeah, John. Going back to your question, there is individually we've had so many players. Like I said, we've had a couple of players through the platform of the club actually going and representing Great Britain, the ladies' side. We've the opportunity to the pathways of representing Great Britain's men's side as well. We've had an individual going there. We've had a few people that have been played in the elite level as well of goalball. Cricket-wise, we've had a young gentleman that's won, I think, 2 seasons of Disability Cricketer of the Year, Lancashire. We've had some awards where Best Blind Player of the Country. One of our players he won the award for that as a B1. Also, we've had Best Fielders. We've had Best Batsman. Myself, Best Low Partial. Like I'm going to get my trumpet out. I've won that every year nationally. That's for the first team. And also, we've had so many awards. We've been to the Fusion Awards in Blackburn where we've won an award. We've been to the Manchester Sports Awards. I won the Unsung Hero 2015 first place Manchester Sports Awards. Which was open to everything. And as you know, Manchester's the 5th biggest sporting city in the world. Not saying nothing about Preston if you're from Preston, but yeah. But generally, I won that in 2015. Recently now, myself at the moment, I'm up for a Changing Lives Award, UK Coaching, last 3 for UK coaching. There's been so much but my own achievements, if I brush them to the side, I think, the achievements of the younger people or the personnel that would have never ever had this opportunity to actually perform or even be engaged or participate in these sports. That's a major trophy for me personally, myself, and for
they get underlined, don't they? They don't get that acknowledgement, do they?
Yeah, no, I'm a strong believer, John, in saying, look, this is no disrespect to anything. You're as good as your weakest player in your team, because a team is not combined with 1 player or 2 players of the sports that we play majority of times. So for us, it's got to be bringing the player that's just coming new into the game or that's not developing them, and making sure that you praise them, you encourage them, and you make sure you develop them to the best they could be. And after that, the world's your oyster. You can see how far they can go, and you're a team. I've always said to my guys when I go on the cricket field, as long as we're a team out there, we've won half of the battle.
Yeah, while you're talking about trophies, John, on the wall behind Sheraz, there is what looks like a big gold medal. So that's hanging on the wall proudly behind him.
I've got loads. I've got loads of trophies, medals, James. When I went into the gym before, but I wouldn't want to blow my trumpet fully, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I've been honoured, and I would have never had this opportunity for myself as well. I love these sports. I mean, I went over to Bulgaria. I started off cricket in Bulgaria in 2012 and 13 with a close friend. That's another good friend of mine, like from the baseball now, from blind baseball. We're like very, very close, contacting each other all the time. And he's the captain, and they've had a lot of publicity recently. They won the Italian championship, and it's been absolutely huge, received in a huge way up there. They're on TV they're on the radio, they're on everything, especially at an important time like this, where there's a lot of negativity going around, and some good stories to share, which is great in itself. And it's sports, and it's blind sports. It's our community, so it's something to be proud of. But yeah, going back to that's the Italian project, but the Bulgarian project, we went out. We developed blind cricket out there in 2012 and 13. We helped to develop it with a very good friend of ours now that's from Bulgaria, that's moved here now and is involved helping us out. So he's been involved in blind sports as well, and we had 15 delegates, players coming over from Bulgaria in 2013, playing a cricket series with us, which we hosted them. And, we sorted out the accommodation, to the meals, to them to visit the sports museum, to them to visit Old Trafford, also to display blind cricket in front of 25,000 in Old Trafford. So, if you look at it, that's another landmark, an international project against a different team. And we played them. We had a ceremony, award ceremony in Lord Mayor's office in Manchester that year. And we had awards, and, we won the series.
Right. Fantastic.
Yeah. It all goes to show that if you've got that passion, that drive, that enthusiasm, like we said before, there's nothing that you can't achieve if you put your mind to it.
You can certainly try, can't you, James? And you know what? If you don't try, you'll never know.
You'll never know. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never know. I think, they say God loves a trier. And, my, belief is I'm a strong believer in not giving up and trying. That's possibly not everybody's got that mentality. But for myself, I have. And, at times it rubs off on the individuals that are around me as well. I mean, a one-man team or a one-man band can't do everything and anything themselves.
Right, yeah. Old adage, there ain't no I in team.
There is no I in team, and I've always said that. So we're a team, we're a workforce, our committee, like I mentioned Ben, Amjad, Nathan, and our members. It's all about our members as well. That's the driving force. We're the vehicle, but it's for them to drive, and we put on and we do what we've done.
Would you say the
So
winning part is second to being a family, being a team, being a an organisation, a club? Would the winning part be, yeah, it'll have spirit and enthusiasm, but would that be the second part to what goes on within your club then? The winning part.
Great question. Is that John again?
Yeah, sorry.
That's a great question, John. With goal ball, with cricket, like I said, we've got top flight cricket. We try our utmost to win. We're we're ultra competitive in that field. But if we've got a new player coming through, we'd encourage and help them. They're there to help out. If we involve in mentoring a development team that wins a lot as well, we'll put 1 or 2 mentors in there that won't do much batting and bowling. We'll do our utmost to make sure we got the development players doing everything so they're learning about the game because they're the future. That's the pool of players that will come out. So with that, we're a bit more relaxed with that. Don't get me wrong, we've had games that we should have won. In any sport, there's games, any sportsman is in a good position if you look at it and they come out on the losing side. But I've always participated. Myself, personally, I don't like losing. Depends in what capacity it is. If it's in development, helping out, and they've lost, they've learned something. I think they've took something out of it. Sometimes you learn more by losing. Winning could be a habit when you can get complacent of and then all of a sudden you can lose, and so you got to take the positives and the negatives together and weigh them up. But myself personally in the team, we like to win, but we like to do it in good spirit. We wouldn't want to be going over the top or throwing a tantrum that we've lost or something like that. In sports, as things, you can get high rate and things like that could happen because that's the competitive edge individuals and teams have. But for us, the ultimate goal is us guys together. And if one player comes through, wins it, or the team wins it, it's a collective effort.
Yeah, it's like all sports. There's pathways there. If you want to be ultra competitive, you can be, or if you just want to go along on a Saturday afternoon and just have a kick about or a play just for fun. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, James. That's why we've manufactured it to that aspect of where we've got a level of where people just want to enjoy themselves. They don't want to be pushed too much. They want to just help people, meet people. There's that part of it. There's the other part of it. You want to travel, you want to play, and you want to compete at the highest level, and you want to socialize. There's that aspect of it as well. So it's 2 ends of the spectrum that we've got, really, if you look at it. And that's the beauty of it, is having the numbers, having the blend of youth, having the enthusiasm from the players, and then picking the right pool of players and going forward with it, really.
If anybody's watching this and they fancy having a go at the cricket or the baseball, give me a call and drop us a line. It's 01772 744 148. If you're in our area, we'll get you linked up with something that we do. If you're not, then we can pass you on to Sheraz and he can pass you on to a team or something in an area that's close to them.
Most definitely. And I think the ultimate goal is try to engage people, give them an opportunity to have a go. I mean, you wouldn't know until you had a go. It's like myself with the baseball. I was very apprehensive at start, wearing shades, like I said, running, but it fit me like a glove afterwards because I like the competitive edge and the developing edge and learning something new. Like I said, it's all about having a go and then assessing it afterwards and saying, is it for you? Is it not for you? We've done so many sessions over the years and some of them are very reserved to start off with. Then as soon as they get into session, they build their confidence and say, it's not that bad. That was quite good. I'll do that again. And that's been the general feedback that we've had over the years of when we've tasted and have a go. And hence why we are successful, as we don't expect too much of individuals when they play in the sports. Maybe we can do something, James, in the future, like we've discussed, when things get back to normality, is, bring a group down or join both the groups up.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, if anyone wants to join in, come and have a go. Give it a go. If you've not tried it, you don't know what it's about. If you've any sort of little nagging doubt that you think, you know what, I'm going to give it a go, I'm going to try it, come along with an open mind, see what it's like. If it's for you, get involved. If it's not for you, at least you've tried it.
Yeah,
So,
and there's always something that's going to be there for somebody. And maybe, like I said with the cricket's not for everybody. So we started off goal ball. The goal ball's not for everybody. But if you've got somebody that wants to do all three with the baseball, the new one that we've got, our members can do all three. And, they're all appealing to me. Like I said, the latest sport of baseball wasn't appealing, but it's become appealing. It's growing. It's taking off in the UK. And we look to
future,
deliver.
full stop.
Sorry?
But I am totally blind.
Sorry, I didn't
Sorry.
catch your name. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, mostly it's just, I love the idea and I'd love to get involved, but I am absolutely, totally blind. I've no sight at all. And so I'm very apprehensive about joining in, even though I'm willing to have a go. I just don't know how I can.
Okay, well, this is why
Do you
we're here
have
for.
people who are totally blind who join in?
Indeed, we do. Like, sorry, didn't catch your name. Is it Kay?
Mosey.
Okay, well, basically, as I explained before with the cricket, your blind players are more valuable than your sighted players because they constitute a team. You need 3-4 blind players in there that are fitting into roles, and basically they are more important to me than somebody with sight in a team because it constitutes a team. And blind baseball is everybody's under shades, so everybody's on a level playing field. So if you look at it, everybody's in total blackout, won't it? So
So when you say everybody's under shades, you mean they're all wearing
shades,
dark glasses? Is that what
indeed
you mean?
yeah, blindfolded basically.
Blindfolded, they're under shades. They're blacked out basically, and so everybody's in the same position. Everybody's
I didn't realise that. Right.
Yeah. So we're all on the same level playing field, under the shades, under blackout.
That makes more sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so Mosey, once lockdown's over and we can go and get involved again, come along and give it a go.
I'll definitely have a go.
Yeah, I think to start off with, you've got the right mindset. You'd have a go and you'd see how it goes. And you've asked questions, like I said before, to James and yourselves. No question's a silly question. If you're never going to ask, you're never going to know. Am I right in saying that, James?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, you've got all the right ideas. You want to have a go, and, you've told us what you're apprehensive about. It's just not yourself. I was apprehensive about having a go. But if you look at it now, I'm at the forefront of driving the sport in the UK with my members, committee members and team players as such as well. So, there's always something there for somebody to do in any blind sport. This sport is very inclusive, blind baseball.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you.
We're running out of time at the moment, so I'd just like to thank Sheraz for coming along. I think everybody's got something out of it. Just to let you know that next week we've got Mike Newman coming in from Speed of Sight. I think you might have, if you've come across them before, Sheraz.
Speed of Sight.
Speed of Sight, yeah. Driving.
Yeah.
Mike Newman's, he's totally blind himself, and he's world record holder in numerous disciplines for different speed records.
All right, excellent.
So he's going to come and have a chat with us next week. So that's next week at 2:00. And that's using the same link that you've all used today to get in. So if you want to come along and have a listen and a chat with Mike, you're more than welcome to. So like I said, I'd just like to thank you, Sheraz, for coming along.
James, thanks
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. I hope you all got something out of that today.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Sheraz.